boy, do we have a good show for you today. Okay, I'm not Steve Harvey and this is not Family Feud, but I do think that this is going to be a really good show for you guys. Today I am meeting up with Bartosz. He is struggling finding happiness with what he does during the day for his work. He is a 50-50 partner in the business he owns, so he's in a little bit of a sticky situation with trying to either leave or sell his half of the business, or just trying to find aspects in his business that he can make himself happier with what he does every day. So let's get into the show and listen into some of these questions. Hey guys, this is my friend Bartosz. Today we're going to be figuring out and trying to talk a little bit about how we can make work situations better. Bartosz owns his own small business and he's not necessarily happy with it. So we're going to talk about what we can do or how I can help him, how he can help himself in trying to figure out what steps he's going to take. So Bartosz, tell us about what your business is and kind of what you're thinking, and then I'll ask you some questions and maybe we'll be able to figure out some good stuff today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, I have a home care business and I help basically find caregivers for elderly clients. But I've been kind of caught up in doing all of the administrative work, and the business at first was meant to help people, but I found myself interacting with very few people actually, and I'm constantly in the office and doing a lot of paperwork and kind of meaningless work, and I'm really hoping to do something new. I've learned almost everything in the business, and I feel like I've reached like a ceiling where I can't grow anymore, and so I want to try something new. And so I'm hoping to have a conversation and through just dialogue, like to figure out a business or a occupation or something I can do with my life that will help others grow, because that's I think my true like value or gift is like I want to help others like grow.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly sure why. I'm still young, so I'm not an expert at anything, so it's hard to help others grow when you yourself aren't an expert at anything yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I get that. So a few years back, I remember somebody asking me what my dream job is, and my dream job, I've always said, is literally to help people. I don't really care what I do, but I want to figure out a way that I can feel helpful to other people. Mm-hmm. So that kind of almost sounds like we're on the same page with that, right?
Exactly.
So growing and being helpful is close enough to the same type of words. And he's got his own YouTube channel, and we're going to dive super deep into some other aspects into his channel, so I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes below. And drop a comment if you can't find him or you need any help, or if you feel like you're on the same page where you either own your own business or you're just not happy or satisfied with what it is that you're doing. Make sure to drop a comment and let us know so that maybe we can give you some additional tips, and we'll start there.
And if this video ends up somehow on my channel, I will also do the same thing for Wendy.
Yeah. So in your everyday work, what do you think are your must-haves to whatever it is that you're doing? What do you think that you have to have in whatever business you're going to be in?
I think I have to have interactions with people on a daily basis, and I want to share like value with people. I think that by being able to help others in a sustainable way, this is a must-have for me. And if I can also learn and grow on the job, I think those are the three top things. Interacting with people, providing like value in a sustainable way, and for personally the opportunity to grow myself. I think those are my three must-haves. Yeah.
What would make you walk away from a situation or a job or a business that you're in? What do you think that what makes you kind of hate the day, if you will?
I think the thing that's the worst, specifically with what I'm doing right now, is like I feel like I'm not providing the value that I want to. I don't feel like I'm actually being true to myself and like actually sharing the gifts that I ought to give. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat in a sense. So some of you guys may not know, I work with my husband right now sometimes. He has his own business and we resell items online, and I am inching away from working with him and doing this full time. So that is a good hint for you to subscribe and like and comment so it can help me to get out of there. It's when and so he was telling me off camera that he's 50-50 partners with another a business partner of his, and I'm kind of 50-50 with my husband, but we've had some employees that have worked there longer than I have, even though I've been doing this the whole time he's been doing it. He started it when we were together, so we've been in this the whole time, and not feeling helpful. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I pull from that, is you don't feel like you are doing anything, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm just doing admin things as well, so I totally am like on your same page with that. So it almost, to me, I feel kind of stagnant with not being helpful to team members or to customers, or it just seems like I'm doing the same thing over and over. Is that that's kind of what you're feeling like too? I feel like
it's almost like a person that was born to be a mechanic but is stuck in an office job, like kind of like this. So it's like, and even like I see the opportunities where I could improve the business or help people more, but it would be further straying away from like where I want to go. So not only is it like I feel like I'm trapped, like my soul is like tied, but also like I feel like I'm actually being detrimental to the business, because I'm not even like I'm both not sharing like my value with the world, but I'm also like not even contributing as much as I could to the business. So it's like a lose-lose situation. It's
I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, it sucks. Like it's really bad. But I think like being aware of it and talking about it is like one of the first steps. I mean, it's once you like speak it out, like just by talking about it, like I feel like okay, I feel a lot more relaxed. I'm like, all right, I'm not the only one in this boat. And like, but there's I'm sure there's a way out. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and owning your own business with trying to figure out stuff that you enjoy doing and that you like doing, it almost has a little bit more of an element of feeling trapped, because you own such a big part of this business, and wanting to walk away, wanting to find something else, but sometimes it could just be a shift. So let's talk about that shift in just a little bit. We got 2 more questions to go through that I want to talk to you about, and then we'll talk about making that shift. So let me write that down so I don't forget. What do you enjoy during your workday right now, or what do you enjoy in the past of a workday? Like, when in your business have you really enjoyed what you do?
I really enjoyed the initial part of the business when I was learning and figuring everything out. That was my favorite part, because I was interacting with people, I was learning, and I was constantly engaged. Right now, the times when I actually feel good about the business is when there's like a new aspect. For example, I think a few days ago, a lady reached out to us about a festival. I work with a lot of Africans, and a lady reached out to us about an African festival that will happen next year, and it was a conversation that was like completely new. I've never had this conversation like in reference to the business, and I was talking. I found myself excited for like the first time in a while. I was like, oh, like we could do this, and I was like, that was a signal to me that like I've been doing like my job has become mundane. But I think another way I look at it is like I look at the business, but I also look at my previous jobs, and I was a Peace Corps volunteer before, and I realized I loved that a lot more than this business. What I wanted to do was to use my Peace Corps experience to create a business that helps the community, and to kind of do a continuation of my service. But I think I strayed kind of off that path, and so I find myself, okay, where in my life were the best moments as far as like career goes, and I was like, and that's what my must-haves are, which was like I was interacting with people, I was growing, and I was sharing like the skills that I really enjoyed, like sharing like my gifts. So that was probably the best part, I think, in a long time.
And so we kind of touched on what your worst part is then, is that you don't like to be stagnant. You don't like to just do administrative work that you feel like is just punching numbers, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So you had told me earlier that you are planning to go back to school, and you're going to go to school in Germany, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I applied. So this was about 7, 8, 9 months ago. 9 months ago, where I was thinking, okay, I was looking at what are my skills, what are my experiences, and where do I want to go? And so I was like thinking, okay, I speak 4 languages. I have experience working with nonprofits, and I started a business here working with refugees from Africa. And I was like, how do all of these things tie together? And I thought international affairs right away. So I applied to Germany because I randomly ran into a friend from Syria. So it just becomes more and more international. And I was like, every single road is going towards international. He was an alumni of this university in Berlin that was phenomenal. Like people like Barack Obama, Angela Merkel, like spoke in front of the students directly. It's like, this is sweet. And so I went and applied. Well, I didn't actually physically go there, but I applied and I got in. And I'm like, okay, like this is a new shift, like that I could do. Like I could learn international affairs, or like just network with people that are like-minded, that speak several languages, want to make the world a better place, and somewhere in their like business. I don't know. I was like, I want to dive into this kind of primordial like soup of just creative, intelligent, like international interactions, and hope that something will come out of this. That was the shift I think that I was looking for with applying, for this graduate program. So
7 to 8 months ago, when you decided to go to grad school, did you know at that point that this, with what you're doing now, because that was pre-COVID, COVID has messed up everything, and I think with staying home and not interacting with people, that COVID has allowed us to think more about our now, our future, what we're happy with, what we're unhappy with. Did you know 7 or 8 months ago that this is not what you're going to be, that this business was not something that you're satisfied with anymore?
Yeah. I think that was like a pivotal point where I made the decision of, I cannot just cut the business, I cannot leave it, because I'm dealing with a very vulnerable population, and it would go against my principles to just leave them, because in the end that would follow me.
Yeah, I see that.
But at the same time, I had to figure out a way to continue the business, but work on something in my off time, or in my like downtime, like, and have something that I could strive for, so that eventually I could sell the business or leave it or whatever, and that I would have the next step already set up, so that I wouldn't have a period of just sitting around doing nothing. That was kind of my mentality. And then COVID happened, and now I have to defer that program by a year, because I physically am not allowed to go to Germany.
Right.
And so that has been quite frustrating. But like you said, it's forced me to think about my now, it's like, okay, well, if I can't go there now, what can I do now?
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, we're having this conversation, honestly.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
here we are.
So, I will start off by saying, so in my opinion, he sounds like he's foreign.
Yeah.
Even though he's grown up in Michigan his whole life. So, leaving the country is purely because of COVID. It doesn't have anything to do with a green card or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you'd have to have a green card to go there too, right? Or it would be a school visa.
So it would be a school visa, but I have a Polish passport as well, so I have dual citizenship. So technically, I don't need to. And I think technically I can still go there right now. But they're doing like online school and I also want to go there for the experience.
Sure.
And one of my must-haves is being able to see people in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm gonna make a huge shift like this, I want to do it when it's right.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I have to go to class and like socially distance and can't really interact, like that would be missing the entire point of me doing this.
Yeah.
So that's and I've been thinking about it, like, you know, doing the online classes and then kind of but then it's really hard to even like find an apartment in Berlin. So I'd be entering such a chaotic mess.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, maybe that's a sign that, okay, maybe there's something else I should do before going to Berlin. Maybe there's something missing. Maybe there's a step that I missed. There's something that I need to do personally, internally, before I engage on that. Because I felt like I was rushing it a little bit. It felt more like a snap decision.
And moving to another country, it shouldn't be so much of a snap decision.
No.
It makes it a little difficult.
Although I have done that before.
Sure, yeah, why not, right? So, okay, well, with thinking about some of these things, we live in the same community. You live like half an hour away, something like that.
Yeah, I live on downtown Lansing.
Okay, 15 minutes away. So, there is this big Facebook group that we have for all of the Lansing area, and my recommendation for you is to approach, I forgot her name, I think her name is Sarah, with the 517 group. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, well, I don't know Sarah, but I know the group.
Okay, so she is the creator of the group.
Okay.
And she is always having her hands in a whole bunch of different pots with helping people create events. And she has this Lansing calendar, and so she literally talks to everybody in the area who puts on events. So with knowing you and knowing more of your background versus just this like last 15 minutes that we've been chatting, I think that one of your next steps could be to approach her to see if she knows of anybody else who's creating these events, but the people who are creating the events needs another person. Because this could help fulfill your working with people. It could potentially fulfill the teaching aspect or the teaching role, and it gets you away from the desk, so to speak. Like you might still be doing some things like on the computer to help with an event, but I think it would be something new and something that you haven't done before and feels meaningful because you're helping out this event, that this event will help something else. You know, and in the Lansing area, there's 15, 20, 100 events a day. Some are on there, some are not, but I can almost bet that if you post on that group or you ask her if she knows of somebody that needs help, immediately you'll be able to get something to feed your soul initially, and maybe within feeding your soul you can kind of figure out from doing these small little things to be helpful that you're not spending money. You might not be making money either, but even just to kind of dip your toes into some different areas, different companies, different realms of working, I think that might be helpful to even just do it for a few hours a week. And if you like it, then you can dive deeper and deeper and deeper. And maybe you won't go to Germany. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. who knows?
That actually sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah.
I actually have organized an ecological forum during my Peace Corps service, and I loved it.
That's right.
And you actually remind, like, I forgot about that too, to be honest. And I'm just like, oh my god, like that was a period in my life where I was like contacting like businessmen, nonprofit owners, and like I was engaged, and it was like doing something positive for the community. And you reminded me of that. I'm like, huh, that's a really good idea. Like, I can't believe I didn't think of it.
Well, you know, it happens, and sometimes just chatting with people can be really helpful.
Seriously.
And I think if that goes well, if you really enjoy doing that, you may be able to work side by side with Sarah or with this Facebook group. You might be able to work side by side with her to help become an event coordinator. If you're an event coordinator for all of Lansing, or even just refugees for Lansing, or you know, something that you're already kind of in, then you may be able to oversee that, and then people who are in all of these different communities from Africa or from other countries, they might always go to you for additional help. Like, hey, where can we get the cheapest venue, or where can we borrow chairs and tables from, and stuff like that. It doesn't feel meaningless if you're actually helping somebody, in my opinion. And being like actually seeing a whole event come together. I've put on some events, and some pretty big events, and once everything is done, you feel so much satisfaction with actually getting everything done. And what do you feel about an event coordinator?
It sounds like definitely down my alley. Like what you're saying, like I was just like I've been there. I'm just like the preparation, like, you know, you're a little bit anxious the night before, but then like once you see like, oh, everybody showed up, and you see like the guests or the participants coming in, and they're like, yeah, this was awesome, or like, I'm so glad I came. You're just like, oh my god, I did something. And it's tangible.
Yeah.
Like that's what's really cool. And actually, like you mentioned, like, you know, doing it for free or whatever, or just like volunteering, like that's something that I learned. It's like I was at my happiest when I was making absolutely nothing, but I was doing the work that I really wanted to do. And so like doing this would definitely feed my soul, even though like I wouldn't be making anything, but that would give me the energy or the passion or whatever it is, like that would like feed me to, I mean, this stuff spreads to every other aspect in our life, like relationships, friendships, everything, business, even a business that like you might hate, like if you can pour your soul into something and you're not making money, you end up putting in good energy into that business anyways, and maybe it will turn into something better. Like that's also possible. I totally agree with that whole energy aspect, because with we're back. We had a bee situation and we had to handle that, so stuff's a little bit different, but we got the bee taken care of, and we were just kind of finishing up on our aspect, on our portion. So I am wondering if any of you guys are having any of the same kind of situation where you're a business owner, or your hand is in a business like so much that you just feel like you just can't let it go. Drop a comment and tell us so that we can help you, we can help interact with you, and maybe we can have a conversation with you. Maybe you'll be my next YouTube guest, who knows. And I think that really fulfilling that energy within is something that is extremely helpful, because you're right, you're absolutely right, where if you have that positive energy with one aspect of your life, it's gonna flow into other aspects of your life. So even if you're just volunteering, or if you have this as a part-time gig where you're just working 5, 10, 12 hours a week, if you're so happy and so satisfied, that really could pour into your business that you're working on, and make your business something different, and make it feel like it's something different. Plus, maybe you could even put events together for your business. Exactly.
And you could make money within your business to grow your business bigger with understanding and knowing some of these other things. So if you're volunteering and then you're creating one for yourself, I think that could be super helpful for you.
100%.
Yeah.
Like once you start working on something like that's fulfilling you and is positive, then actually you start to, it's like you start to spiral upward and you start to become more creative and just think of more things, and then like you said, create more events. Like I could start creating events for the business with other businesses, and that could it could just go on and like a way that you would never even, you couldn't plan this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
yeah. Wasn't that powerful? Now, that was kind of a mini coaching session. However, I didn't want to dive too deep into a lot of his personal information, but we do dive a little bit deeper into his personal information and a little personal information on my behalf as well on his YouTube channel. And I will put that information in the show notes below so that you can watch that video. I don't think he's going to be releasing it right away, so make sure that you come back or you subscribe so that you hear or you see when that actually comes out. I will encourage you, if you are in an unhappy position at your work now, or if you're in a sticky situation like Bartosz is, where he's 50-50 owner of his business. If you're in a sticky situation, there are ways out. I promise. I don't want you to give up hope, and I want you to stay encouraged and stay motivated and stay happy with whatever you're doing. So please continue to watch these videos. Please watch the other half of this conversation. This outro is actually recorded after both of our YouTube videos combined together. So I really do think that it will be valuable information to listen to his portion after listening to mine. So if you need additional help, please feel free to reach out to me. Either comment below or send me an email to careerelevationce@gmail.com. And that will be in the show notes as well. Feel free to reach out to me, comment below. I want to help you. I want to get you out of the bad situation that you're currently in. And I want to encourage you and motivate you to be happier in your life, because I promise it is better. Have a wonderful week. Until next Monday, keep elevating your career.